Pamela.
I'm Ebong.
And I'm Kate, and today we're dishing with you from Founding Farmers, located at 1924 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest.
And today's guest is Councilman Jack Evans, and we're really happy to have you here today.
I'm
Thank you for being here.
thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Good, good. First question I'm going to ask you is, what is your favorite thing to do in Ward 2?
My favorite thing to do in Ward 2 is a little different than what I would do citywide. What I'd like to do citywide is go to the Washington Nationals
Oh, we love the
baseball
Nationals.
game. We love to do it. Now, if we have to
fans.
limit it to Ward 2, then my favorite thing is to go to the Washington Capitals.
It's all about the sport.
Verizon
It's
Center.
not
Yes,
Thomas
it's all
Suite,
about
because
that.
one of my
Well, that's
favorite
good
things to
too.
do
It's down the street from Tangy Suite, which is another.
Oh, right.
But that's my kids. If you ask my kids what they would do, Tangy Suite is the
And you
place.
run all over the place, too.
Yes, I do.
You're a big
I'm an avid runner. I run every day, 5 miles, and I run from my house in Georgetown, across the Memorial Bridge, down the other side. I don't identify that where I am, and back across Key Bridge.
You know, the funny
into
thing
the
is, when I
city.
first met you was you were running.
Ah.
It was about 3 years ago. I was riding with a friend of mine, Susie K. We were riding our
Oh, I know her
bikes.
well, yes.
And we were running down the street.
He was
Yes.
running, or he was running for
He was
office?
he was
Running for office, I was running from people.
he was running from us.
Running
So-
from people. Running from an event to an event. An interview to an interview.
Yeah, you're probably running from interview to interview event. You are a very, very busy man.
Yes.
Running Ward 2. Now, Ward 2 is huge. It's the largest
Huge
ward in the
ward,
city,
largest
right?
ward in the city, and it goes on the west side from Georgetown, the other side of the university, all across the city to North Capitol Street. It includes
Wow.
DuPont Circle, Shaw, Foggy Bottom, Logan Circle, but interestingly, the entire downtown. So both the White House and the Capitol are in my ward. And I always like to point out that I am actually the most important person in Ward 2 because the president can't pick up your trash. Only I can do that. So there you have
And
it.
trash cleanup is very important.
It is. But I always
Why?
remind the president of that.
Why did you want to be a council member? Why do you enjoy serving the city?
Well, I think it's great to be in elected local politics, and I think the reason being, it's the one place where you can do something and actually see the results of your actions. If you're on the national level, you can do things, but it's harder to see what you can accomplish, and I would give some real-life examples. Building the Verizon Center,
Right.
building the convention center,
Yeah.
getting a baseball team back to the city. You can literally walk around this area and say, not literally, but for me, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I think the challenge in Washington over the last 20 years has been revitalizing a city that was really dead.
Yeah.
When you went in downtown Washington in 1991, there was nothing happening, there was nobody there. Today we are the most vibrant city in America, and that's a real accomplishment, and I think that's a big part of it.
I think so, too. What in your mind was the biggest accomplishment that the city achieved while you were in office?
Well, it goes to the finances, believe it or not. Our finances were almost in bankruptcy in 1995, and through the course of the last 10 plus years, Mayor Williams, Chairman Kropp, myself, now Mayor Finty and Chairman Gray, we've all managed to put the city in the best financial situation of any city in America. And that's led to the rebirth of the city, which has then led to the nightlife. Right now we have more restaurants in Washington, D.C. than most major cities, rivaling New York City as the restaurant capital of America. Arts, between the Kennedy Center, the Ford's Theater, all of the theaters we have and all of the accoutrements with the arts,
Right.
we are again rivaling all of the major cities in America. So it's become the center of really the world, financial and otherwise.
We would agree with you 100%.
Yes.
And one of the biggest things I really liked about what you've been doing is the fact that you're pro-business in a way. And you understand that business is important in order to revitalize
Yes.
an area. And I've seen the progression, from,
Yes.
for example, the Chinatown and Verizon Center has had from before and after.
No question about it.
And that is an amazing thing that a lot of people need to realize and
Yeah.
recognize.
And a part of that was to get people living downtown.
Right.
Again, the 7th and 8th Street corridor was dead. And one of our goals was not to just build more office buildings, but to bring people and retail. Now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can go over there and there's a ton of things happening.
So much energy.
Absolutely. And you contrast that with the K Street corridor, which was built back more in the 70s and 80s, where after 5 o'clock at night and on weekends, it's just dead.
Nothing going on,
Nothing
yeah.
happening. And so that's what we're trying to change here. My biggest project in the future would be the FBI building. If we could get possession of that from the federal government, tear it down, and build a big residential retail complex, wouldn't that change Pennsylvania Avenue?
I might actually
I
move
agree.
to DC if you did that.
So would I.
Big
So would
difference,
I.
because you have the museum on the one end,
Right.
anchoring it,
Yes.
and then more the Willard Marriott Hotel on the other end. But it's in between where we struggle. And so that's some of the ideas that we have going forward.
But where would you put the new Redskins Stadium?
Aha! Another one of the challenges I face. 1995, 1996, the district became the only major city in America not to have a professional sports franchise in its borders. Since then, we've got the Mystics, the Caps, the Wizards, the DC United, the Nationals, and the only team we're missing is that one that uses Washington that plays football. So what we want to do is build a brand new retractable roof Redskins Stadium right where RFK currently sits.
Oh.
It's the best location in the region. Traffic-wise, there are 6 roads going in and out. It's on a metro stop. And not only the Redskins Stadium, we want to build the practice facilities, we want to put the Hall of Fame there, and we'd like to put the soccer stadium in that area as well, to create a complete sports complex in that part of the city.
Are you running into any objections to having that happen there? Because I've heard that.
No, people are very excited about the Redskins.
Well,
It's
the
really
Redskins
interesting,
used to be
you know?
there. It'd be like
Right.
coming
Absolutely.
home.
That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I think there's the curse. You know, the curse of RFK. As long as they play at FedEx Field, they will not win.
This could be a
but if
Jack
they come
Evans,
back,
like,
come
endorsed
back,
curse,
yes,
okay.
then all of a sudden you're going to see a change in their fortune.
You know you're being taped right now.
Absolutely. Well, I think Dan Snyder, who owns the Redskins, would love to come back to the city if the stars align.
Yeah.
And where better to hold a Super Bowl? But you can't do it without that retractable roof.
Sure.
And so that's
Yeah.
and wait till he goes to Dallas and see what they have down there.
Yeah.
You know, all of a
Wow.
sudden it's going to look pretty good coming back to the city. So
We
we'll
always need to
work
have
on
the
that.
best
The
right
best here, absolutely. So
Well,
it's very
tell
exciting.
us what's next for you. You've got a couple more years serving. You know, think you might want to run for mayor one day.
Well,
what's going on with you?
as my mother always said, hang on to that good government job, you know, so I'm hanging on to the screen, especially in this economy. But I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I love being on the city council. I love the progress the city's made.
Yeah.
Politics, the only thing you know is what you don't know. The unexpected always happens. If the opportunity came along, I would love to do it, but I would support our current mayor, Adrian Fenty, who's doing a fabulous job. And so, you know, we'll just see what happens as time goes on.
Thank you so much for joining us. We
Well,
have
thank you
learned
for
so
having
much
me.
from you
Thanks for coming.
This is
about
great.
how great DC is as a sports destination, more
And
than
other
anything
things.
else,
And
and
other
other
things.
things.
Other things, absolutely.
And
Well,
thank
good
you
luck.
for watching on this episode of The District Dish.